Hello, this is a quick video where I show how your Chrome extension can get information about people who liked a specific tweet. For example, let's open this tweet, open our DevTools, go to Network, and open this page. If we select this filter to only show fetch requests and XHR requests, if we scroll, we will notice that Twitter is making requests that has this text in it, favoriters. I assume it's people who liked a tweet. If I view all other requests, there's no data in them. So let's set a filter here. And let's scroll once more. Okay, I think we reached all. If we click likers, we will see this request being made, and this response is a JSON object. If we reload the page, click likers, we will see this request being made, and response has an array like this. And somewhere in this big object, you can see name of the account that liked this tweet. So to get a list of all people who liked this tweet, we have to simulate these requests, and in this video I will show you how to do that. First of all, if you view these logs, you can see that the type of the request is XHR. So if we rewrite this page's XHR function, we will be able to capture all requests that are being made by Twitter. Let's do that. In this snippet of code, you can see a function that overrides this method. If I run this code and then use the website, you can see that before Twitter makes a request, we intercept it and log to console URL and response body of this request if URL contains favoriters. Now, in order to simulate this request, let's view this request in this network tab. We can see that this is a GET request and URL looks like this. Now, from this point of view, it looks very complicated, but let's review it in more detail. Let's copy the query string to the console and split it by this character. This reveals that there are two query parameters, variables and features. Now, if we copy this first variable and remove this string, now if we decode this URI component, the result is obviously JSON. In order to convert this URL into some sort of readable information, you can refer to this code. Now, if I reload the page, URL, we will get parsed information logged to the console about each request URL that is being made. And features, it looks like this JSON. And variables is this JSON. These are the two query parameters that are sent to this endpoint to get likers. Now, we can assume that this object is the same for every request that is being made, and this request will also be similar. Now let's go back to the post, reload the page, let's run this code again, click likers, and then scroll down a little bit. And if you review this carefully, you can see that the first request we make does not have this property in it, cursor. And the point of this property is to tell Twitter loading people who liked a specific tweet. This information, this cursor, is returned from each request. So if we look at this response body again, we can see that along with information about users, Twitter also returns a cursor that must be used in the next request to their API in order to get more information, to get another list, another batch of people who liked a specific post. So in order to simulate request, we will have to capture this value and then send it to all the consequent requests we make. So let's try simulating the request with information that we just got. So this is the base of the request that Twitter makes. These are query parameters. Here we create a URL with this data and then execute a fetch request. So let's reload the page and try to execute this code. Okay, now we have this function here, get likers. If we pass this tweet ID, it will be inserted here. So if we execute this code, we will get an error, bad authentication data. And if we review this request we made in this console, if we view it side by side, headers that are being sent to Twitter, we can see that our code sends a lot less headers. And in order to simulate this request, we have to send exactly the same headers as Twitter. And we can see that they sent authorization header and cross-site request forgery tokens and stuff. So in order to simulate this request, we have to get the values for these headers somewhere. In order to see which request headers are being sent with this request, we can override set requests header like this. Now if we execute this code and click likers, you can see along with information about request URL, we see a list of headers. These headers are the same for every request that Twitter makes. So whenever we reload the page, Twitter has already made enough fetch requests and XHR requests to their backend to have the needed request headers. In this snippet, we log to console all headers that are being set by Twitter. So if we run this code and use Twitter, we can see pretty much every request that is being made by Twitter has these authentication requests. And in this function, get likers, we use headers that are being saved by this script that we declared earlier. So now, if we execute this function again, we will not get an error. We will receive the response with entries from Twitter, from their backend. You can see a result here. Name of this person is Thomas. And if we get likers, we can see it's actually Thomas who liked this post. So to finalize, we have a function, get likers. It accepts tweet ID and a cursor for the next batch of information to get from Twitter API. When I run this script, it will override XHR of Twitter website to save headers that we need to make requests. If I execute this function with an ID of a tweet, this code that you can put into your Chrome extension will make requests to Twitter and return likers in order. You can see we have an array of names of profiles that liked this tweet. Now if we go to a different tweet and execute our function with this new ID, we will get another set of arrays. If we go to likers, we can see actually this information is correct. And that's pretty much it. This method is useful for mod social networking sites like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, because they all operate in a similar fashion. So if you want your Chrome extension to get likers or people who retweet it, you can use this code and it will give you the information you need. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Also, if you need a Chrome extension like this developed for your business or your idea, feel free to reach out. Thank you. Have a good day.